welcome back to another edition of Fit Friday. Today, I have the blessing of sitting down with Lorie Layman. Lorie takes part in our aqua running classes, and she's got a really, really amazing story of her journey with her fitness. And Lorie, we've been friends a long time. For those of you who may not know Lorie, we graduated together from Waynesville. We're not going to say when.
No, we won't say when.
But it's been a while, right?
Yes, it has.
So now I've known you for a long time, and I've seen you. I've seen you get down to your goal weight, only to go back up.
That's
get
correct.
down to the goal weight, go back up. So kind of explain that to the people out there, what your journey's been like.
Well, I've always had problems with my weight since I graduated high school. I came on early to realize that I am what you would classify as an emotional eater. It took me a long time to kind of self-diagnose myself with that, just knowing that anytime something happened in my life, I would always turn to food, whether it was getting a new job or whether it was going through a divorce, having a baby, my child leaving home, meeting somebody new that I was excited about. Everything always seemed to reflect as food. Whether it was a reward or whether I was punishing myself, it was always food. And, recently I lost both of my parents 15 months apart. My dad went through a very, very difficult health struggle for many years. And I was there with my mom watching him deteriorate. And during that time, I was self-medicating myself with food. It was whatever sounded good at the time, I would eat, and it would make me feel better for a moment. And I think there's probably a lot of people out there that can relate to that anytime we have something that is emotional going on in our life, sometimes whether it's a good emotion or sometimes whether it is bad or you're grieving, food is always a comfort. And I guess that's why they refer to certain things as comfort food. But those were the things that I craved. I didn't crave the vegetables and the fruits and the good things. I craved all of the bad carbs. And that's what made me feel good about myself. So I thought. And then shortly after my dad died, 15 months to be exact, my mom died. And they both were very young. They were 70. And my mom was my best friend. We had been through everything together. Excuse me if I get emotional. But losing her I felt like it was the end of me. There were days that I didn't even want to get out of bed. There were days that I just thought, God, if it's my time, please take me now, because the grief is unbearable. And the only thing that got me through that at that time was my relationship with God, but also a lot of food. And I would kind of numb my feelings with food. I would think about food when I wasn't eating, think about what I was going to have for breakfast the next morning. I would think about what I was going to have for lunch before it was even lunchtime, or what I was going to have for dinner. And it was always bad choices. It wasn't anything that was healthy at all. And then finally I realized, I pass Melissa every day on my way to work, and she's running, and she is just really the pillar of perfect health. And she always has been. And she always has been a true inspiration to me, whether she's known it or not. And it was one day I was driving to work, and I seen her out there, and it was bad weather, and she's just a huffing and going and running, has her little hat on, and she's got her earbuds on. And I know she's praising God all the way, because that's what she does when she runs. And I thought to myself, enough is enough, Lorie. It's time for you to start getting your life put together. My mom and dad are up in heaven, and I know that they wouldn't be proud of the choices that I've made. They'd want me to be happy. They'd want me to be healthy, to be around for my children, and hopefully in the future, my grandchildren. So I just kind of made a mental decision, and I went to work, and I started kind of writing down what I thought would be a good goal. And then I reached out to Melissa privately and told her what I was going through. And she kind of gave me a lot of inspiration and a lot of pep talk, and, reminded me that, God loves me, and that He is there, and that I can turn my grief to Him, and He would be there for me. But then she started talking to me about the aquatics water aerobic class. And it was like instantaneous. That's for me. I absolutely love the water. You know, every year when I want to go on vacation, it's the beach I want to go to. I want to be in a pool. I want to be, you know, in the water. And it was just absolutely a life-changing experience the first time I came to the class. And I didn't know what to expect. You know, I felt like, you know, here I am, a B12, walking into this water aerobic class, and I knew what Melissa looked like. We even without a bathing suit, and I thought I'm going to be, you know, this big fat blob in the pool. But you know, everybody that's in that class is going through their own struggle, and they're all different sizes. There's some people that have had injuries that are coming to water aerobics so that they can, you know, regain mobility in certain limbs. There's lots of people that are going through the same, you know, obstacles that I'm going through with weight. And it was just a true eye-opening experience. And I can't tell you how excited I am every week to have water aerobics. And when I'm not able to make the class, I find ways to make sure that I get my water aerobics in.
Well, because you've learned that by doing this, you put on the belt and you have no pain exercise. Like,
No.
you exercised 90 minutes tonight.
Yeah. I got to class 30 minutes early and actually put in an extra 30 minutes before everybody else did. That's why I look like crap.
Oh, I think that's great.
But
That's why our hair is wet though.
Yeah. But I started this journey technically 9 weeks ago when I made the, you know, choice to start eating better. And I started giving myself what I called meal plans. And you can't look at it as a diet. It's not a diet. It is a lifestyle change. And one of the things that I immediately recognized was my love of soda. I absolutely love soda. And I did not like diet soda. So I started, you know, reading on what was healthy, what was not healthy, what should I be doing to start losing weight and losing inches. And one of the key factors on everything that I've read was you have to have a certain amount of water. So I started bringing these big gallon jugs of water to work with me, and I would start my water. I gave up my coffee in the morning. Didn't bother me one bit. I would drink my water, and I made sure I got my water in before I got off work, so that my reward was when I had my dinner that evening, I would have a sugar-free soda, whether it's a Dr. Pepper or whether it's, you know, cream soda Dr. Pepper or whatever, but it had to be sugar-free. And that helped me get over that hump. And after about the second week, I no longer had those cravings for the sweets, and I still don't have those cravings. Now, do I fall off the bandwagon on occasion and have like a day that I will reward myself? Yes, I do. But I'll go, instead of rewarding myself with the whole day, I'll pick one specific meal. If I know that my husband and I are going to go out for breakfast, then that will be my special meal that I will have a few extra carbs. If I am going to go to lunch, or like, for instance, we have a barbecue to go to this weekend on Sunday for a graduation, and I've already planned that lunchtime will be the time that I have maybe a couple tablespoons of potato salad. And those are things that I enjoy, but I don't have to eat them, you know, overabundantly. I can have them in small moderations and still feel rewarded. But one of the things that I've noticed the most is the changes that it has made in my health. I used to have extremely high blood pressure, and there was a lot of stressful things that were happening to me a few years ago that contributed to my high blood pressure.
You were almost at stroke level at one point.
Oh yeah, my blood pressure was a 216 over 162 was the highest it was. I actually went to the health department and had it checked, and one of the nurses there wanted to call the ambulance, and I said, no, I'll be okay. But I kind of knew that I was starting to have health trouble.
You were in your late 40s.
I was in my late 40s, yes. Trying to get up to, you know, trying to go to bed at night and sleep was difficult. I suffered from extreme leg cramps. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that, you know, are overweight that probably have a lot of the same health issues that I had. The, you know, feeling like you're suffocating when you try to lay on your back, leg cramps, arm cramps. You feel like you can't breathe right. I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, so I had to have a sleep apnea machine. And all of these things were contributing because of my weight and because of the choices I was making with my eating.
So,
And I was self-sabotaging myself, just because I thought I was feeding that grief. I was actually doing way more harm to myself than good. And I decided that, I'm going to start making these changes. I started, the meal planning, deciding what I was going to have for breakfast. And one of my favorite things is a protein shake that I have. And I've got it, marked down to where I get the one that only has 5 carbohydrates in it. And I have that. And then as soon as I have that, I start drinking my water. And then for lunch, I do a lot of salads. I do a lot of fresh vegetables, occasionally a little bit of fruit, but not too much because it does have sugar in it. But just enjoying, high protein is something that, I didn't know what it was, but I definitely feel the benefits of it now. And I can honestly say I've been doing this program now for 9 weeks, and I am down over 30 pounds, and I have lost several inches. I've actually went down 3 different sizes in blouses and, bottoms. And so it makes you feel good when you start seeing the progress, but also my energy level is so much better. And I know that, I'm not perfect. I know I probably will still have problems that, I'll fall short, or maybe there'll be an emotion that will hit me and I'll crave something. But in the back of my mind, I kind of have come up with this new motto that I've decided that I am going to eat so I can live. I'm not going to live to eat. I don't have to have the best chocolate in the world. I don't have to have that, cheeseburger from McDonald's. I don't have to have the McNuggets. I can eat healthy and be around for my husband, for my children, and later on for hopefully my grandchildren. And those are all things that I've said. And I know every day I talk to God, and I know that God has my parents with him. And I know that they've got to be proud of me now because of the choices that I'm making. And I can't tell you, changing these things in my life definitely has not, helped the grief, but it's helped me deal with how I manage it by not being self-destructive to myself with the way that I eat and the choices that I make. And then I find new ways to implement different exercises. I do a lot of yoga stances. I bought this little cute thing that you do little twists on. And I also will take my dogs for a walk at the park. And those are things that I couldn't have done for sure 9 weeks ago at all.
Now you said this time was it. This time you're going to stick with it. What's so different? Is it just because hey, I'm in my 50s now. If I don't make the change now, I'm never going to make it.
Right. I think a lot of it was I wasn't at a place that I felt like I would hold myself accountable. When I started having my health issues, one of the first things I did, like I said, was I wrote down my goals. What are the things that I really want the most in life? And the things I want the most are to be healthy, to have a relationship with God, to watch my children grow up, to hopefully someday be a grandmother and be able to spend quality time with my grandchildren and be able to be a grandma that's present and active. And I knew that the lifestyle I was leading was not going to lead to a long lifespan, and it definitely was not going to lead to a healthy lifespan. And I didn't want to be the kind of person that was in a wheelchair, that couldn't walk because I was overweight, couldn't breathe because I was carting around all this extra weight. And I decided that enough was enough. And I know there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way that I do. And that's why I agreed to do this interview. It's not easy for me to sit in front of a camera and be, raw with my emotions and raw with, my struggles, because I am a private person. But if this reaches anybody that is struggling the same way I did, whether it's with grief, whether it's with, just being down on yourself, looking in the mirror, not wanting to take a picture of yourself, looking at old pictures of yourself when you were thinner, thinking that that's what you look like now because you're kind of in denial. I was there. I still am there. I still see pictures of myself, even to this day, that I've lost 30 pounds in 3 sizes, but I still see a person who's obese. And know that I can do this. And I know you can do it too, if you put your mind to it. It's not easy, but it also helps finding people like Melissa here that can offer you support. And when you're having a bad day, reach out to that person and say, hey,
exactly.
I'm struggling. You know, I don't know what it is about today, but today I want an ice cream more than anything. And just reach out to that one person that you know will listen to you, that can help set your mind straight and realize that you don't need it. You know, 1 minute of, you know, feeling self-gratification from an ice cream is not going to make you feel better when it comes to the long journey. You know what they say, once on the lips, forever on the hips. And it takes a heck of a lot longer to lose it than it does to put it on. And I know that.
It certainly
does. To really answer your question, I think that having a relationship with God, coming to an understanding that God has my parents, and I know that my parents are in a way better place. They're not suffering and they're watching over me. And even though they're not here physically with me, I still want to make them proud.
Yeah.
And I know by being, you know, self-destructive to my health doesn't make them proud. What makes them proud is that I take care of myself, because in taking care of myself, I can take care of everybody else.
That's right. That's right. It's just, it goes back to that old analogy. The plane's going down, you got to put your oxygen mask on before you put on anybody else's.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So guys, Laura, I just love that. And I love your spirit, and I love your attitude, you know. And I'm gonna tell you, I've seen you go through these journeys. You and I've been, you know, we've talked about it, you've been up, you've been down, but I see something has switched in you now.
Yeah.
And will you come back and talk to us maybe in 9 weeks from now and
Sure.
tell us how much more?
I will.
And guys, she inspires me, so I know she inspires you. And like she said, reach out to me at the health department. We have a lot of programs. We have a lot of different programs. We've got our 45 to Fit, 60 to Victory. Our job is to give you the tools for you to make the right choices, to live a healthy lifestyle. And it is never too late to start. No. You know, we had Bob on here, he's 74. Yeah. We had Linda a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Linda's in her 60s, and
I'm going to be 52.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I think, wow, if I would have started this 10 years ago, I would have been 42 and feeling more healthy, but I didn't. But I have now, and that's what matters. So, you know, if you're out there and you're listening and you're going through a struggle, reach out to somebody, reach out to the health department. You know, even if you're in another state, I'm sure there are programs out there. And if not, reach out to me, send me a private message, and I will get with you and I'll let you know what's worked for me. May work for you, may not work for you, but I can give you some helpful hints. And if I can't help you, I know who to put you in touch with that who can. And that's Melissa Martinez from the health department. Yeah. She's been an incredible person my entire life, and she's always been an inspiration to me. And going through the struggles that I've went through, and now starting to feel good about myself and being able to move better and breathe better, and just doing, you know, the water aerobics and, you know, dabbling with yoga and things like that, that I never would have thought I would have even dreamed of doing.
And you're walking outside now.
And I'm walking outside now, and I feel better. And you can too. You can too. And just getting a healthy diet plan, and don't look at it as a diet, even though I use that analogy. Look at it as a lifestyle change. It has to be a lifestyle change. And don't beat yourself up. I mean, we all fall short of God's grace every day in one way or the other. But that's why we're forgiven.
That's right.
And that's exactly what we have to remind ourselves, is that we can't beat ourselves up. We're only human. We're going to make mistakes. But if you have a bad day, remember, tomorrow's another day.
That's
you can start right over again.
That's right. Hey guys, we're having a hard start of our 45 to Fit on June 1st. Be a great day to make changes. It's a program designed to give you healthy eating habits and exercise habits. And we're going to come back, and I am super proud of you.
Thank you.
Super proud of you. God, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. And thanks for being such an inspiration to me. Love you.
Hope you guys got your tissues for that one.
Thank you.
Happy Fit Friday.